Hey everybody, and welcome to Type2 Take2, your diabetes and health-centered podcast, where we stick our noses where they don't belong in order to get to the answer of why. Seriously, why? You know, why? No. Why is our health so jacked up and nobody told us what was going on? Well, in this book, The Rain Barrel Effect, written by Dr. Stephen Cabral, you kind of get the answer. I love that book. And we will come to the answer of why is my health so jacked up and nobody told me why. Stay tuned. All right, guys, for some chit chat. We just had a beautiful day. Yesterday morning, it snowed. Today, it didn't snow. Thank goodness. It snowed. It was very light. It snowed overnight, and it stayed on the ground for, I guess I would say, half of the day. It was pretty. I didn't take any pictures. I was just hoping that it wouldn't stay for the long haul. And I really enjoyed the look of it, knowing that it was going away. So there's some chit chat for you. Okay, guys. So this podcast is going to be quite a short one, actually, because I've been doing some long haulers, and I want to make this one quite short. So I found out something really cool, but before I go through all the thing that I found out that was cool, I have to go over the pillars. You know, the updates, the setbacks, the encouragement and motivation, and then the health. So for the updates, let's see here. Update. Well, the Reset Bootcamp is in action, and I believe this is the same update as last week. But now it's official because it's officially December. That the early bird special is off, but the true update is this, and this is only for my podcast listeners, watchers. I am going to offer you, my diabetes friends, an opportunity to have free coaching for 3 months to get your blood sugar under control, teach you how to eat properly, and get you off of this ridiculous roller coaster. Because guess what? I found out how, and I reversed my type 2 diabetes, and so can you. And so there's no reason for you to be stuck, right? Right. So I'm offering that to you. Only to you, my podcast listeners and or watchers. Okay? I'm not putting this on Facebook. This is going on YouTube because it's part of my podcast platform. But I'm not putting it on Instagram. I'm not going to be saying it anywhere else. It's just for you all. So I really hope you take advantage of it. So that way I can get you on your feet. Yes, I said that right. Free coaching for 3 months to get you back or get you on track. So there's the update. I hope you take advantage of it. Setbacks. Now let's talk setbacks. Setbacks. Let me see here. There's always a setback somewhere, but to find one, you may be saying, well, what you're wearing is a setback. And if you do, that's okay. I'm okay with that. That's fine. I can't think of any setbacks right now. So moving right along. Motivation and encouragement. I just want to motivate and encourage you all to stay positive. There are times when you're going to be feeling pretty negative, especially during this holiday season when you had plans to maybe muscle through or white knuckle your way through the holidays without eating certain things, seeing certain people, or smelling certain bakeries, whatever it is, whatever, hey, whatever it is. And perhaps that didn't occur. Perhaps you did exactly what you said you weren't going to do. I just want to encourage you to just keep going. Keep going. And don't use the excuse unless it's like midnight or a little bit before midnight that you can start tomorrow. Just start now. Start now. If it is your goal, if it is your desire to muscle or knuckle through, hey, you might be white knuckling it, or you might just be muscling through. Maybe you don't. Maybe it doesn't even take anything, but maybe somebody's offering you their home baked cookies or their chocolates that they got from so and so, or their amandel spice staffias or whatever. The Krautnoten. Maybe they did. Maybe they offered that to you. Well, I want to encourage you, if you ate it, do not beat yourself up. Okay? I know you have goals, and that's great. It's great that you have goals. It is fantastic. You should have goals. You should have goals. But one of your goals should also be to give yourself some grace. And you're probably thinking that's a cop out, right? Oh, that's just a cop out. I don't need grace. I need structure. I need a whip. For those of you who cannot see me, I'm pretending like I'm whipping myself, But really, what you really need is grace. You need grace for yourself because life is going to keep on happening whether you plan for it or not. And yes, it is great that you set up a plan and you are determined to follow through with your plan. But if you don't follow through with your plan, it is not okay to beat yourself up because that doesn't help you. How are you going to beat yourself up and expect yourself to walk on? You can't walk on if you're beaten up. You're going to drag yourself, maybe, if you can get up, depending on how harsh you are to yourself. So what I'm saying is this. Be nice. Give yourself grace. If you have a goal, add grace to the goal. Add grace to the goal. Okay? That's the motivation and encouragement. I hope that you actually take that and place it in your heart. Now, health. Health, guys. Health. Okay, so I mentioned to you this book, The Rain Barrel Effect by Dr. Stephen Cabral. Here is his picture here. You can actually find him on YouTube if you just look up Stephen Cabral. He has a podcast. It's called the Cabral Concept. And honestly, you can learn so much from there. So much from there. So, I mean, he is the CEO, the creator, the founder of the Integrative Health Practitioners Institute, where I've graduated from. Ta-da! I know that should have been an update, but it's not. So here it is now. I graduated as a level 1 integrative health practitioner. So I'm officially an integrative health practitioner, a keto health practitioner. Keto integrative, meaning all inclusive with all of the best of everything, health practitioner. What is a health practitioner? I'm a health coach. But I like health practitioner. It sounds just way better, okay? It sounds better. It sounds like I've arrived. If you guys are not watching, I just flicked my collar. I know. Oh my goodness. Titles, right? Titles. But like I said about this book, The Rain Barrel Effect, written by none other than Dr. Stephen Cabral. Again, I'm showing you his picture. By the way, this is a complete aside, but this is something you should know. This book you can get by going to his website, stephencabral.com, and entering your information and just paying for shipping, and you'll get this book for free. I mean, this is so great because it teaches you why you're sick, how you got sick, and how to get away from being sick. Like, dude, I'm not even playing. And speaking of that, let me get to you what this health segment is about. This health segment is about diabetes. Can you believe it? Diabetes. Okay, so this is how this is gonna roll, right? Because I posted some things on Instagram. Let me see if I can see it really quick. You guys know I don't mind jumping on and looking at my phone while I'm over here talking to you. So I'm jumping on my phone right now to look at my post because I thought it was kind of cool. Um, and you could always look at my post too. On Instagram, it's at Envision underscore whole underscore health. And yeah, so let's see here. Let me go to my recent post, and I really love it. And it's a swiper. You know, diabetes is not an all of a sudden disease that has come to plague you for no reason. Are you interested in hitting rewind? And then I show you how to get started and the phases that I go through to help people to reverse their type 2 diabetes. And then I say, call me, love Danyell. And I really love this because my daughter helped me with this, Lydia. Yes, I know. You guys are always looking at my broken phone. It's cool. And then I even have a QR code. Like, I mean, everybody wants you to QR it. So I said, well, why not? You can scan that QR code and it'll take you to set up a discovery call. When the discovery call is free, it's a free consultation to show you so I can talk to you and you can talk to me. And the whole point is so that way you can decide whether or not I'm a good fit for you, and I can decide whether or not you're a good fit for me. If you're actually serious about getting healthy, getting rid of the junk in the trunk. But anyway, okay, so now all of that to say this. That book has taught me a lot. The podcasts I listen to all day, pretty much while I'm working, right? So one of the podcasts I was listening to, it really hit me. And the reason I brought up the Instagram is because I was trying to make some infographics to explain diabetes to those who maybe don't understand. And one of the things I said, and this is up and coming, so I'll just make it brief. Um, One of the things I said was that if the doctor just diagnosed you with type 2 diabetes, you were diabetic like years ago. And you're probably like, what? But if he just diagnosed me today, yesterday, a few months ago, how is it that I was diabetic years ago? He just barely diagnosed me. You can't tell me that I've been diabetic this whole time. And the fact is that you've been trending towards type 2 diabetes. And then finally, when everything was overflowing with inflammation and toxins and lack of sleep and stress and negative food choices that possibly didn't help you, um, food sensitivities, when all of those things got intermixed, and then the outward toxins too, you know what I'm saying? Or the lack of nutrients in your food, when all of that started piling in and then your cup was full, one last drop hit it and you overflowed. And then the symptoms, this is for you, my type 2 diabetes friends, okay? My diabetes friends. You were predisposed already in your genetics to have diabetes. Doesn't mean that you were genetically created to definitely have diabetes. You were just predisposed. So it could have been in your genetics, passed down from your family members. It could have been, well, how do genetics go along anyway, right? You get your genetics, you get this gene from this parent and this gene from another parent. And maybe mom and dad didn't have it. Maybe grandma and grandpa didn't have it. Maybe brother, sister didn't have it. But somebody down the line in your pool had it, or they were predisposed to it, and it went down the line. How do you figure these things out? If you really want to know, if you really want to know everything about what you're predisposed to, you can probably take a DNA test. I've heard a lot about that. I have not taken a DNA test. I don't know how much I would want to know, or rather, how much I would like to pay to know. I'd rather know what's actually happening right now, because you know genes are genes, right? They're static. They're static. The only thing that happens with genes is that they can be expressed, like say for example the gene that makes you predisposed to diabetes. Right now, the diabetes is just a car. Yeah, let's use this example. Diabetes is a car. Now it's full of symptoms. Now we call this symptoms diabetes. What, right? Um, the inability to utilize insulin or to allow insulin into the cells, a constant flow of glucose in the blood sugar, inflammation, um, and then of course there are things that show as the symptoms, such as overly sweating, and that has to do with your body trying to regulate itself. The blurry vision because the sugars are convoluting or going across your eyes and whatnot through the capillaries. Um, oh, what else? Nerves, lows, being angry because your blood sugar is out of whack, so it's going up and it's going down, and you're not regulated. Okay, so all of those things are in play, right? Okay, so all of those things. So diabetes car. The car can't go anywhere without an ignition. I don't want to say key because some of y'all be like, okay, well, it can be hot wired. No, no, it cannot go anywhere without an ignition. Without an ignition, it can't go anywhere. No wiring. The wiring has to be there for it to go. But you can arm it. You can cause it to start up. You can hot wire that thing. You can get the key and just stick it in there and go. How? You can do that by excessive inflammation. I have one thumb up. Excessive inflammation. That's the only thing I'm showing. But why? Chronic, low grade inflammation. Here's why. Okay, so if you have a food sensitivity and you're constantly eating the food, then that's agitating your body. That's causing inflammation. Your body is trying to fix that problem. Inflammation occurs to help heal the body. Chronic. There's one. You are constantly possibly and this is no blame, okay? I'm just giving you ideas of what may be occurring, what you may be doing, and you have no idea because you've never been taught anything else. This is the way you've been told to eat, okay? There are foods such, like I said, with the sensitivities, and that could include gliadin. That could include almonds, for example. Anything that causes inflammation, because let's just get straight to the point. Inflammation is the big key, it's the big player, it's the big monster, because gut distress causes inflammation, stress causes inflammation, being sick causes inflammation. And I'm talking chronic inflammation, being unhappy, being angry, being all of those things cause inflammation. The Bible says that a merry heart doeth good like medicine. But if your heart's not merry, then you have all this stuff in you and you have no medicine. And so it's just there, sitting there. Okay? I thought that was awesome. Like when I was thinking about it, and I was just like, wow. And then the Bible came back to me, God's word came back to me, and it was like a merry heart doeth good like medicine. Like, dude, that's awesome. That's really cool. Because God is cool like that. And He'll just bring things to my memory. If you are consistent in reading your Bible, or if you are learning your Bible, reading your Bible, meditating on the Word of God, then things will come back to you, especially when you need them. That's the way it goes. Even if you're not perfect later on. Okay? So, the inflammation swells up the cells, right? It causes the cells to no longer do what they're supposed to do. The cells are supposed to be accessible to the insulin that is normal. Insulin is usually peaked by the by the body, or the body calls out for insulin when there are carbohydrates that are broken down into glucose. Now, glucose, fructose, all the oses, friends, all the oses. I don't want to hear it. All the oses. Okay, they're being broken down. Your gut has villi that is pulling from the nutrients of the foods that you are eating. And then if your gut, for example, is leaky or damaged or permeable, it's a higher permeability because of the sensitivities, which is breaking down the walls, or the or seed oils breaking down the walls. All of those things are getting stuck into the tight junctions. The tight junctions are supposed to be closed, but the gate gets open more and more and more open. So all of these amino acids are coming into the blood. And what is that causing? Inflammation. Inflammation. You see, you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, would you please stop talking about inflammation? But look, inflammation is like hardcore he's on your butt. Inflammation is trying to get you. Okay, it's not trying to get you. Because if you remember, inflammation, I talked about it last week, is a great thing. Was it last week? It was a podcast. You're going to have to check it out. You have to go back and look at the one over the pros and cons of inflammation. Ta-da! So, I believe it was like episode 26. I'm not quite certain. But in any case, inflammation, right? So inflammation affects the cells. It swells them up. The cells cannot open when the insulin is trying to carry the glucose, which is supposed to be stored in the cells to give you energy. It can't do it. So either the body says, okay, send more insulin, and wham, 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 because the normal amount of insulin is not working. The normal amount of insulin is not working. So what happens? Either there's an influx of super insulin, and then the cells get open, and then your body deals with hypoglycemia because there is way more insulin now in the bloodstream than there is needed, because you didn't need so much, but because the cell wouldn't open, now you have all this excess. Okay, that's one. So if you ever feel like, oh man, like I like my blood, I feel woozy, I feel sweaty, I feel shaky, I'm gonna bite somebody's head off. Oh my gosh, I'm hangry. Hypoglycemia. That's hypoglycemia hitting you because your insulin was like, hey dude, cell, hey cell. Knock, 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 knock. Hey, cell, open up, cell. And cell's like, I'm trying, but inflammation is all up in my grill. I don't talk like this. I teach my daughter to speak proper English. But inflammation is blocking the path. It is making it difficult. So the glucose cannot get in the cell. The insulin has to work extra hard. What's left of the excess insulin sits in the bloodstream. Therefore, it lowers your energy level because it sat there and decreased. You got to use a lot more insulin for the body to do what it needs to do on a normal basis with a normal amount of insulin. Okay, so that's one side. The other side is the insulin cannot get the glucose in the cells. So the glucose sits there floating along in the bloodstream. And then either you urinate the glucose out, which is also something. If you're a diabetic and you've ever felt that your urine was sticky, that's why. Because it has to go out somehow, right? If your urine is sticky, urine is not normally sticky, folks. It's not. I know. Because I'm weird, and I'll be the first one to say it, that I've messed with urine just to see what it looks like and what it feels like. And before you say, ew, you're gross, look, I studied to be a medical assistant and I passed. I was a medical assistant. I studied to be a phlebotomist and I passed. I'm a now certified, no longer licensed, because you have to keep that up, phlebotomist. So don't talk to me about how gross I am. I love the human body and I love all the functions and the things and all the things and all the things, and it's really exciting. So going back to what I was saying, now the urine is sticky because there is sugar in the urine. And usually if you're giving a urine sample to your doctor, your PCP, then they will note that there is sugar in the urine. They will note it. It's hard to not note it. And I remember collecting samples myself and having to do sticks and having to do tests with the sticks and seeing, where it shows the certain colors for it. Now I can't remember what they look like. It's been too long. But in any case, that's the urine urinating out. Okay, but what the glucose urinating out? But what about the ones that don't urinate out? Where is it going? So either the body says, okay, well, we can't shove you in the cell. It's not working out. It's not working out. It's not working out. So either it sits. Now the secondary option is that it sits in the bloodstream. The first option is that it gets shoved in the fat cells. Okay, it gets shoved in the fat cells. So you're gaining. So you wind up gaining more weight, which makes it harder for you to decrease because now it's inflamed. It's inflamed. It's inflammation in the fat cells. Toxins. Toxins sit in your fat cells. Okay, so if you ever find, now here's an aside, and then I'm going to get to the point because I think I went around in a circle. If you find that you're losing weight and all of a sudden you start not feeling so well or you start breaking out or whatever, well, while you're losing the weight, the fat is releasing, the fat cells are, minimizing and dissipating. They don't dissipate, but the fat cells are being decreased and you are losing it and they're dropping. Okay, let's just say that. Let's just make it like simple. Well, when the fat cells are released, so are the toxins. The toxins are then either if you are not detoxing properly or if you don't have clear pathways, then it's going back into the system and then it's being rotated back into your system and it comes out in the form of pimples. It comes out in the form of I'm gonna word toxic. Yeah. Well, there's one example. It comes out in the form of pimples. There are so many more examples, but in any case, so that's what you're looking at. Okay, so inflammation. Let's do this again because I think this is awesome. It sucks, right? But at least now you know why. Now you know why. If you ever say, "Oh man, but I don't even know why this is happening to me," well, now you know why. Okay, so what are the things that influence your cell? What are the things that influence inflammation that causes your cells to not be able to open up, which causes the sugar in the cell, the sugar in the body to keep free floating? Okay, sensitivities, gut sensitivities, toxins, overindulgence in certain foods. I'm not saying you can't eat food. Food is food, right? Real food is food. I'm talking about, okay, science projects. That the science projects usually have seed oils in it. Highly inflammable seed oils. They inflame the body. They agitate the body. You have all these things that are agitating gut distress, stress from outside stress. You're talking emotional stress. All of these things, and you're thinking like, well, shoot, how do I even live then, right? But then you like I was saying, it says in the Bible, a merry heart doeth good like medicine. So there's one. Okay, there's where the serotonin kicks in, and the serotonin is anti-inflammatory. Woohoo! Okay, so there's that, right? And then also there is deep breathing. There's ashwagandha. There is CBD oil for those of you who use it to relax the nerves. There is sauna. There are saunas for those of you who that relaxes. There are light tissue massages. There are walks. There are things to decrease the stress in your life. Gut stress, test or do an elimination protocol. And if you all know anything, if you looked at the YouTube channel for the Lucky Stove, you've seen that I showed you how to do the 21-day elimination diet protocol. So you could always utilize that and see what bothers and agitates your body. And then from there, because that's what will cause inflammation as well, you can take those things out and then slowly put them back in little by little. And then if it still is not working for you, kick that stuff out, do a detox. Okay? If you have questions about detox, email me, Type2 Diabetes Take 2 at gmail.com. I will help you. But all of that to say, isn't this exciting? Now you know. Now you go full circle, folks, full circle. Now you know why. This may only be one reason why, but hey, if you at least have one reason why, isn't that enough? Isn't that, I mean, it may not be enough, but isn't that at least a good start? Because then you can actually do something about it instead of just saying, well, I don't know, my mama didn't have it, my grandpa didn't have it, I don't know what's going on. Or my mama had it, my uncle had it, my brother had it, my sister had it, my father-in-law had it. So I'm gonna have it too. No, that's bad looping, friends. That is a wrong thought pattern. Just because they had it doesn't mean that you are going to have it, because you have the tools to not get it. You know what you need to do to not get it. It is not contagious. Diabetes is not contagious, and neither is it. May be genetically instilled in your body to possibly get it, but it is based on what you do. So, who has the power now? Thank you so much for joining me here at Type 2 Take 2. I'm really excited that I got to talk to you all. I know this was kind of long, and I said I was going to make it short, but you know who I am, okay? I just can't. If you have any questions about my diabetes offer, please email me at type2diabetestake2@gmail.com, and we will discuss it. Otherwise, you can always click on the discovery call button, okay? That is below in the links and whatnot. But remember, this is only for my podcast people. I'm not throwing this out on Facebook. I'm not throwing this out on Instagram, because you guys are the ones who have been sticking by, and you guys are the ones who I want to see get past this. I mean, come on. Why do we have to be stuck? Let's not be stuck. Look, I'm not stuck. If you guys are not watching me on YouTube, I'm flexing. You need to go ahead. If you're on the podcast platform, just jump on YouTube and see what I did. You might get a giggle. Okay, once again, thank you so very much for joining me here at Type 2 Take 2. I really, really, really hope that this has been a benefit to you and that you have learned something that you can take with you. All right, because I'm taking it with me and I'm so excited. Now, if I was gonna say, if you have any other questions, but feel free to email, feel free to text, and don't forget that I am doing that 30-day reset boot camp, which I've talked about with the advertisement that I already inset into the podcast platform. Don't forget that I'm doing a 30-day reset boot camp, and I will be glad to get you on your way to resetting and dropping the inflammation. And now you know why I've been pushing about inflammation. And I really hope that because of that, you can see the value of this bootcamp. See y'all later. Have a wonderful day. Bye.